Boom. Yeah. YouTube. Okay. So during the hour, I will usually, if nobody asks questions, I will just start doing the homework so that people can compare answers if they want to. And I'll work through it pretty quick. And so at any point in time, if you want me to stop and explain something, or if you're like, hey, can you do this assignment instead? I don't mind, because quite frankly, the goal of this is to get you guys prepared for next year. So as long as you're getting something out of it, that's worth it for me. I get the same paycheck whether I do 2 problems or 40, so I might as well be not bored. So, ooh, I gotta change my camera though. I can't just have you staring at my face the whole time. It gets freaky. My face is not that beautiful. All right. Boom. Got it. My hand though. Beautiful hand. All right. I'm just gonna start in the college algebra first one. And I'm just gonna bust through it real quick. Mainly because, well, I always do the college algebra stuff first. And so if you're in the college algebra group and you want to tag along, you can. If not, I'll get to the calculus stuff about halfway through. And you guys are welcome to ask any questions on the way, because I got nothing better to do. So I got college algebra, day 1 homework. All right. Oh, and please don't be like my students who will look at my answers and assume they're gospel and that I never make any mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Please, if your answer is ever different, be like, hey, Douglas, can you check that? And I'll be like, sure, because there's a good chance I screwed up. Let's see. In case you guys are wondering, all the problems come from the college algebra book that Crowder uses. And so if you end up taking college credit for, or sorry, if you end up taking dual credit through college, if you end up taking dual credit through Crowder College, this is all problems that are in your homework in the future. So look forward to that. All right. No one died. All right. I rarely have to say this, but I will say it to you guys. Don't ever expect to be this fast unless you practice. I know plenty of students that are on like academic team and stuff that I coach academic team, and they can get to be as fast as I can without any problems because they practice. It's just practice, nothing crazy. Don't be that person. It freaks me out. All right. Number. I'm going to leave it right there. I can't do that in my head. Yep, 10. Ooh, mistake. one of those people. I know for a fact I am, so I don't feel bad. Although I'm the pen clicker myself. Look at that. 12 minutes in, 2 assignments done. Easy mode. All right. So, Jacob, you're in the college algebra classes, right?
Yeah.
Any problems in the first 2 assignments at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Call them out, son. I'm bored.
I mean, for the first day of homework that we had, I had a question about
Yes.
number 18, for example.
Sure, go ahead.
For number 18, I somehow got 19. Here, I'm going to run through it really quick.
Sure. So I would do inside the parentheses first. 3 and 11 would make that 14. Then do 14 times 2, because multiplication comes before subtraction. 14 times 2 would be 28. And then 9 minus 28 should be negative 19.
You have negative 57.
Aha, see, this is why you always check your work. Question whenever you think I am wrong. See, I made 3 mistakes today. Let's see, do it again. 3 times 3 plus 11. That's probably what I did. I think I did 3 times 11. Okay. 3 plus 11, that'd be 14. Times 2 is 28. 9 minus 28. Yep. Negative 19. Good call. Perfect. What other ones?
The only other one on the first day of homework was 42 that I did not agree with. I'm going to run through it really quick to make sure I did it right.
42. There wasn't a 42 on the first page.
I mean 24.
All right, I'll double check mine. Okay, so good call. That one should be never assume mine is gospel. Before I grade anything, I always do the homework at least 3 times because it helps to eliminate how many mistakes I make. The phone one is trying to always figure out where you went wrong, and I think I know where it did. I took 3 minus 7 and somehow got 5.
Oh, I see.
And then take 5 times negative 5 times 8 and get negative 40. There it goes.
Well, that was the only one on the first day's homework that I did not agree with you on.
Sweet. Cool. Well, you take a look at these ones. I'm going to start working on my side over here on some of the calc ones so I can get Miranda involved.
All right.
Miranda, you're in the calc class, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to be in college algebra, but I've been in the calc class since day 1, so I'm just sticking with it, I guess.
Yeah, calculus is unique. It's unique. That's a good way to put it. Not at all scary. All right. in my opinion, and I say this in my videos, calculus is the best class to learn every other class, because so much of it you'll have to pull from, like in calculus, you use topics from algebra 1, you use topics from algebra 2, you use topics from college algebra, you do use some trig, like it uses everything, which is pretty nice if you're into that kind of stuff, which I happen to be, because I get paid to be. All right. Mhm.
Oh no, I messed up already.
No. Sorry, I have to.
Alright, everything's getting written in pencil until
See, if you want to hate yourself more in math, do all math in a pen. Just do it.
I already messed up and when I wrote everything in pen, okay? Like I'm not.
Hey.
I'm writing
this-
everything in pencil
this-
and going over it in pen, and I refuse
this-
to get to otherwise.
You don't understand. You just do
I
it.
don't. No.
Because you know what? As somebody who works with like engineers and stuff all the time, they train them to do it in pen because they'd rather see scratched out work and the answer than like erased work with the answer on top, where half the time the erasing sucks.
Yeah.
It's so
That's fair.
bad.
That's fair, but I'm not going to be an engineer, so I'm fine.
That's
So
okay. That's okay.
So, Mr. Douglas,
Yep.
do you think you could either slide or pan out a little bit? So, I cannot see 44 or 45.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Problem. Ooh, can I pan out? Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's on a fancy stand. Ooh. Ah. Yes, I can.
I do know.
Hey, Mr. Douglas,
Yo.
so looking at numbers 38 through 49, I got a majority of them wrong, but a lot of them are minor addition problems that I had. But I was pretty far off when it came to questions like 42 and 43. Do you think you could go through question 42 with me?
Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up. 42, 42, 42. There it is. Okay, so we have on 42, I have 5L divided by 3L times 9 minus 6, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to make my first adjustment. I hate this. This is awful. This hurts my brain to see it this way. So I'm going to make my first change, which is going to be, I'm going to rewrite this like in fractional form. So I'd have 5L over 3L. Because remember, division is done to the next piece. So it'd be 5L divided by 3L only times 9 minus 6, like this. And from here, it's much easier to see that, the L's can cancel because there's one on top and one on bottom. It's an algebraic property. 9 minus 6 can simplify because 9 minus 6 is 3. And so we end up 5 over 3 times 3. And again, you can either simplify what's on top to get 15 over 3, which becomes 5, or you can just cancel what's on top and what's on bottom to get 5 as well.
All right.
The trick there is 2 parts. Like if you do this out of order, the most common thing to do is to try to do like a lot of people try to do this. They'll try
Yeah.
to thing on the bottom, and that's wrong.
What I did is that I didn't follow through. I just had the 5 over 3L times 3, and it didn't go any further. I didn't simplify that.
Ah, okay.
So thank you.
No problem. And what was the other one?
Maybe go through 43.
Sure. So 143. Let's see. We have a 7z minus 3 plus z times 6 squared. All right. So my first step would be, okay, I got no parentheses, so I do exponents first. The only exponent I got is 6 squared, so I'd have 7z minus 3 plus 6 squared is 36. That'd be 36z. Putting it in the correct order as I'm supposed to. And so I'd have 7z minus 3 plus 36z. From there, I can combine like terms using the associative property to put these two together. And 7z plus 36z should be 43z. And the minus 3 would drop, becoming just minus 3. And that's where that 43z minus 3 comes from.
All right, thank you.
What'd you do different?
Well, I combined like terms with 7z and z, so I got 8z.
Ah, I see.
And I don't really know what I did. I had 8z minus 108.
You took the z and combined it before doing the multiplication. But combining is addition and subtraction. That has to come last.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
No problem, man. In a second, I'll do the third part. I'm almost done with the first part with the calc part, so I can put that up there for Miranda to see. Let's see. I got 2 pieces left here. Number 6. Mhm. All right, I haven't quite got the graphs in yet. I'll do that next. But if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, Miranda, there's the solutions for the first section of the calc homework. And I can do the graphs quickly while those are already up there. Let's see. Boom. You'd think a math teacher would learn how to draw straight lines, but no. Never once. And you can verify all the graphs by using your graphing calculator, of course.
I use Desmos, so.
You know, I used to hate Desmos, but I've grown to become a fan, you know? Call me old-fashioned, but I was one of those diehard, you got to have a TI or a Casio, but you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
can't afford one of those, so
That's right.
computer
Free is nice.
It's way nicer.
Ah, a mistake. Oh, never mind. I have it there. I just can't read it. I'm dumb. Okay. So, Miranda, are you actually, I assume you're going into college algebra then?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it next year. It's like advanced algebra and college algebra are there. It's one semester each or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% on how that's working out, but
So,
that's what I'm doing.
for future reference, and this goes for Jacob as well. I'm not sure what class you're in, RJ, but if I was telling you the truth, college algebra and algebra 2, if you're advanced, they should be the same class. Like, that's where they are at my school. They teach advanced algebra 2 out of a college algebra textbook because they're so similar. I mean, in order to get college algebra out of advanced algebra 2, you have to add one section, which is on matrices. That's it. And so in theory, if you have your class at the same time, it just means you're probably in the advanced class. And which means that you're getting a college credit probably earlier than someone who wasn't doing it that way, which is great if your school's doing that, because a lot of schools don't, which sucks.
I'm in college algebra.
Okay. Did you already taken past Algebra 2 then?
Barely, but yeah.
Don't worry, I was
I had
strangely enough the exact same way.
a somewhat lackluster teacher. Barely anybody passed his classes.
Ooh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Like the actual, I cannot stand it when I have fellow teachers that are that way. I'm department chair for my school, so I try to get them fired. But I cannot stand that kind of stuff. It's awful. Like math is
Yeah.
hard enough and hated enough as it is. Why would you make it worse?
Hmm.
I never failed, even for a minute, any class until I got into his class.
Oof, that
Every other
sucks.
math class before that, geometry, algebra 1, and pre-al and all that, has always been A's and B's.
As far as my math background goes, I was a B student for most of my middle school career because I didn't care. And then I got to Algebra 2, and I realized I was surrounded by people who couldn't do it. And got this crush on this really wonderful person who was good at math, and she only dated guys who were also good at math. So I thought, hey, I'll be good at math. Turns out I was pretty good. I just had to care. Okay, Miranda. I apologize. I did make one mistake right here. But
Yeah, I was wondering because I looked at it and I'm like, that's not the graph I drew, and you almost scared me.
it should curve a little bit more over here, but my pen did not cooperate
Yeah.
with my brain. Okay, I'll go back and do the college algebra day 3, and I'll go back and do calc 2 and 3. Let's see, more paper. All right, college algebra day 3. That's today's stuff. Exciting. Ooh, let's see how many mistakes I can make. Put this up here in case I ask for it. Boom. All right. And whenever I post this, if you accidentally missed one or something, or ever have any questions, just shoot me an email. More often than not, I have made a mistake, and I don't mind correcting my mistakes as long as somebody's willing to call me out on them. All right. So, like in your case, RJ, like if you had a bad teacher last year, the nice thing about college algebra is there's a significant amount of review of algebra 2. Like I taught it the second time this year, and 3/4 of college algebra is algebra 2 material. It's just you might add, one extra theory that makes this easier or does it differently. And so it really does offer a great way. So if you didn't understand something in algebra 2 or struggled because of a bad teacher, it's going to be a lot of review for you, which is helpful to make sure in case you missed any material.
Awesome.
So I should get.
Okay, I've got to
What
go.
is this? Oh, okay. Feel free to check the video afterwards if you want to check your solutions. All right.
All right.
See you later, man. I heard a song. I know that song. I'm having trouble placing.
Okay.
Okay, that'll be it for day 3. A little bit. There we go. Feel free to double check me. In the meantime, I'm going to work on calc day 2. Serena, did you have any questions from the calc day 2 stuff?
Maybe.
Very, very specific there, but okay.
I don't think so. I think that one I got down pretty well, but I could be wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna do them real quick. See if I can bust them out here.
All right.
Oh, I was stupid. I didn't number these. Oh my gosh. Why do I gotta make a life?
Yeah, no, I just numbered them myself, 1 through 13. So.
Perfect. Let's see.
Is it still muted?
Huh. Ugh, fractional ones.
It's like a similar color, but it didn't really red because it's the opposite. Everything was coming together.
I would hope so. All right.
Dude, I am rocking it with these colors right now. All of the ideas, great.
Yeah.
I'm doing fantastic.
So, Mr. Douglas,
Hey, what's up?
I had a question about 33 and 36 on the day 3 of homework.
Sure, man. 33 and 36. Okay. Let me pull them up. All right.
So for number 33, I got, because it's, I came down to x squared equals 1.
Uh-huh.
And so I was trying to so I couldn't quite figure out if that was the furthest it could be simplified. So I used an app to see if it would simplify any further, and it came to x equals 1 and -1. So would you want
Correct.
to assume that, or?
Yep. I missed that one. That should be included. Because
All
the way I
right.
solved it was a little bit differently, and so I missed that one.
This
Alright.
is
But
great.
correct. It should be plus or minus 1. Remember,
And
when
then-
you have x squared equals a number, you can always square root both sides in order to get x by
Yeah.
itself. But when you do square rooting, always bring solutions. And you said 36?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm assuming you took the 3 minus 1 and got the 2. And so you have 4 times 2 times x.
Okay, I see what you did.
Mm-hmm. And then 4 times 2 would be 8. So you get 8x equals 4. And then divide by the 8. And 4 divided by 8 would be 1/2.
2.
4 divided by 8. 2 1/2, right?
These. So I still need like all of these.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Because what I did is I distributed the 4 again, like I did in the last assignment, and then that's the reason I got that wrong.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Now. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I can leave it alone.
All right. Miranda, here would be day 2's material. I have different solutions depending on whether you just did point slope form or fully simplified to slope intercept. There are a couple that you don't, that if you're smart, you shouldn't ever need to do that because you can just use either the fact that it's undefined or the fact that it's a slope of 0 or the fact that they give you the intercept so I can jump straight to it, which is nice. But double check me, make sure I'm right. And if I'm wrong, call me
I
out.
have a question on 1 real quick because
Sure.
I got 3 instead of -3.
Okay, I'll double check.
Okay.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Okay, great. Oh, let's see, because it's 2 minus -4, right? Yeah.
Yes, sorry,
I'm-
I did -4 minus 2. And
Yeah.
somehow it got +6, huh? Whatever. All right, yes, it should be +3. Good call. And now I'll go ahead and do today's assignment.
And same thing with 4. I got +2 instead of -2.
Okay, we'll check
But that could be because of my calculator and I typed it in wrong. So
that was the one I had the most trouble with in my brain because fractions in your brain is
yeah,
fun.
that's why I
let's
use
see.
my calculator.
It should be positive. Okay, yep, you're right.
Okay,
2
cool.
for 2. Look at that. Man, I should use my calculator.
Like I can do mental math, but when it comes to fractions, I cannot. It's so hard. I hate doing mental math with fractions.
Same, I just tend to make small mistakes like those. That's all right.
Okay.
Good so far. Okay, go ahead and do today's real quick.
I guess that's 2. And then, yeah. All right. I think everything else is cool.
Sweet.
'Cause I got all the same answers. So either we're both wrong or we're both right.
I can live with that. Okay. Let's go ahead and put today's up here real quick.
And no, that's right. I need to do what?
For these calc ones, I'm probably not going to reduce. I'm probably not going to put them into slope intercept form. It's a waste of time in calc. And whenever you do take calc, I hope you do. And your calc teacher should tell you the same thing.
All right. Oh wait, that's green. Oh, I almost destroyed that. That would have been a disaster.
Give me a call if you change your mind about something you want me to pick up.
All right.
Or if there's some other kind of sausages. It's a pretty nice meat market. They got a lot of stuff.
Cool. Okay, now let's do. Oh, here. Now, here.
All right, there we go. That should be day 3's. Pieces
Okay.
parallel and perpendicular. Just needs to be checked. The first 2, in my opinion, are the hardest ones because you have to remember your properties of vertical and horizontal lines. But once you remember those pieces, those are actually the easiest
Those 2
ones.
are the hardest? Okay.
If you don't remember your properties. If you do, then they're the easiest. That's kind of what calculus kind of becomes after a while, is that if you remember your properties perfectly, calculus is the easiest math class you will ever take. The problem
You mean
is
how?
we're not perfect.
You mean how, like, when it's x equals, that means it's straight up and down, and y equals is horizontal? That kind of properties? Like,
Yeah, because if it says, hey, write one that's parallel, well, that just means, hey, it's also going to be x equals a number because your original is
Yeah.
x equals a number. Yeah, just a lot of people
Because
don't remember that stuff.
oh.
Like I said,
No. Okay. All right, I'm going to screenshot that because I'm only on 62 because I'm trying to make everything neat because I write really small.
Sure.
So
I understand that.
I just got to, like, or I'll just take
And
a
I
picture.
will post the video, so that'll be up there as well, so you can always come back and check.
All right.
All right, we got 9 minutes left for me to chill and answer random questions.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have a question. So how many, are we just gonna do graphing the whole time?
No. So next week, I gave you the preview, right? We're going to talk
Probably.
graph properties, and so we're going to reference what I refer to in college algebra as your elementary functions. And so it'll be a nice little review of things you're going to see in college algebra anyways. And we're going to talk about how to adjust those using what I refer to as parent functions. And so we'll talk about how to graph things much faster and easier, which is really helpful in calculus. That will not be the entire week. That'll be like Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday will be factoring. Because if I had to tell you the most commonly missed things for calc, like if you don't know how to factor, you can't do calculus.
Okay. Well, factoring is usually not something I have too much trouble with, so hopefully I'll be good.
That's good.
So my class, like last year, my teacher, Miss B, she's like, okay, since you guys are having so much trouble with these problems, we're just gonna, she got a whole piece of paper out where we had to do, it was like an X where we had to find common factors or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I hate those.
And so, because she got very, she's like, you guys should know this. This is like a thing that's you're always gonna use pretty much. And it was pretty easy for me. It's up to my classmates, obviously, but it's kind of funny to me because a lot of times they'll be. It's just weird to think that some people have trouble remembering that.
Oh, don't you worry. You'll see it next year, I promise. So, Jacob, if I had to tell you the most common frustration in college algebra, are you ready? He's not even listening. I'll tell you.
He might have
there
left.
too. If I had to tell you the most common frustration, it is factoring. Because like I
Really?
said, there's a lot of duplication between Algebra 2 and college algebra. And so if you didn't understand how to factor in Algebra 2, now you're expected to take it steps farther in college algebra. And so if you can factor, I'm going to tell you right off that college algebra is going to be fine.
Okay.
There may be some things that throw you off every once in a while, but I guarantee you, if you can factor, you are better than at least 50% of every other students.
Well, I mean, in third grade, we had this like factoring around the world kind of thing. So I expected more of my classmates to remember things. Well, some of them weren't there in third grade, but
Yeah.
I expected more from them. A lot of times, like with my little sister too, I'll be like, "What's 3 times 6?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Come on, or 18? Like, what's some numbers that go into 18? Like,
Oh yeah,
No,
I know. It's a good
I
time.
believe in you guys. You got this."
And it's a little bit of if you don't do it very often, it's a skill that is easy to lose.
Yeah, because like in geometry, we didn't do it a lot. So that was like a full year that we didn't really do any factoring. So I get that. And I forget stuff like pretty easily.
That's a good idea. So I may have to tell my geometry people that they should include some factoring stuff in their problems.
Because, I mean, geometry doesn't usually involve a lot of factoring. So I get that it's a whole year where you're not factoring, so you will forget some things. It's just, we did it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I expected, like, more memory. Just, like, muscle even.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Hey now, if you took French a year ago and didn't practice it for a year, you'd be pretty terrible at it. But you
I did
probably
it
practice factoring before,
I did
multiple
French
times at
in
least.
freshman year, and I barely remember anything. I remember the alphabet and like up to like I don't remember 30 or 40 in it, but like I'm usually good with alphabet and numbers, but the actual words, no, not great at that one. So yeah, it's hard to remember things, especially if you don't practice them often.
But I'm distracting you from working on your problems.
Oh yeah, you definitely are, but it's also me ranting, so it's not just you.
Perfect. I'll just sit here for the last 4 minutes, quietly sipping my water and contemplate life.
Well, anyway, Mr. Douglas, thank you a lot for the help. I'm going to get off so I can get onto the my CQ or KQ video. So thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Catch you later, man.
What other ones do I have to do? Everybody's doing all the meetings like right now, so I have to find out which ones I'm gonna join and which ones I'm not.
Honestly, and it's weird because that's what I thought was happening, but everybody listed this as their best time when I sent out that evaluation. Like 3/4 of people said this was their best time. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a few best times because my sister's babysitting mostly for me. So as long as she's not busy, I don't have to babysit my cousin.
Oh, that's nice.
I still can't find my pencil, so I have to get one of these pencils.